Thanks for watching our Whitetail videos. Listen to our podcast as well. Delivered to you every week, the best in Canucks content here with Ed Willis, our sports columnist. Ed, the whole furor, so to speak, over who would be the Canucks captain seems so long ago now. Everyone had assumed it would be Bo Horvat, and it was, but of course it had to be a marketing opportunity rather than just an announcement and something organic. Fair play to the Canucks for that. But I don't know if that's changed him, but we've certainly seen results on ice where he's turned his game up a notch.
Well, yeah, it just seemed to be such a natural thing. I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure why they didn't make the decision last year. I guess maybe they wanted some time to distance him from Henrik's reign and all the rest of it. So yeah, but there was really only one choice in that. But I think what it does is it points to something I do like about this Canucks team is so many of the players, like its character, its identity is derived from players who've been drafted and developed within the organization. Yes, there's free agent signings, but when you look at the core of this team, especially its young core, and that's Horvat, that's Pettersson, that's Besser, that's Quinn Hughes, that's Stetcher. I think Marks, certainly Demko, and I think you can make the same claim about Marks. I know he was brought in, but he's been a Canuck for 6-7 years. These are guys who are invested in the franchise and the organization. I remember talking to Jim Devellano about this a million years ago when the Red Wings were, developing their Stanley Cup teams in the early 90s. And he said, and he was instrumental in building the Islanders team too. He said, it's just a different feel. When you sign and develop your own players, it just brings about a different feel in the organization. And I think that's where the Canucks are right now.
Well, one thing that's interesting, and we've all seen the absolute, again, I'll use the word furor that goes on when a Canuck prospect has scored a nice goal somewhere. You see Podkolzin also off to a pretty decent start and certainly looks good from the highlights. You always have to wait and see how that translates to the NHL. But as we look at this team, you and I have been doing podcast videos for years where we'd say the blue line and scoring wingers were areas that they needed to develop. Obviously, you talked about Hughes. Man, he does not look out of place at all at this level. What does this team need? I know the power play's been a sore point to this stage, but leadership, actual top-end skill, blue line's more filled out, the goaltending's there now. Where does this team still need to put in the work if they really want to be a Stanley Cup contender?
Well, as they're currently constructed, I think the only thing they need is a couple of years. The one thing I do concern myself with this team is their best players are so young. I'm just not sure if they're ready to carry a team to the most competitive areas in the NHL. I mean, like Quinn Hughes just turned 20. Pettersson's a wonderful player, everybody, but he's not what he's going to be when he's fully formed. Besser is getting close. I think of all their core guys, really, Horvat and Markstrom are the only ones you can say are anywhere near approaching their prime. So that's the only thing I can think of. But other than some glib answer about it would be great if they could get Ovechkin for Ben Hutton, Mason Raymond in the second round. I can never forget Keith Ballard. Keith Ballard.
Ballard Raymond in the
if they could do something like that. But no, I think this is their team, and I think the only thing to do now is just to sit and watch and let it develop. And the thing is, as long as they're being successful, they can do it like in a relatively positive environment. And that goes. You reference the prospects on the team. It's not like when they're called up now, they're expected to walk across Georgia straight to Rogers Center to play. They can just kind of find their way in the NHL at a kind of normal, realistic pace and not be expected to come in and save a team that's drowning. And I think that's a world of difference for this team.
It's going to make for interesting viewing all season long. So you can continue to read Ed's stuff at thepromise.com, vancouversun.com, subscribe to our podcast through Apple Podcasts, and continue to watch our videos. Thanks, folks.